Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. You know, we just got through the George Floyd verdict, and some satisfaction was handed down with the conviction of rogue cop Derek Chauvin. Derek was found guilty on all 3 counts. But, unfortunately, we just couldn't have at least one day of rest without another controversy, another shooting, another death that involved a black person. In this particular instant here, it was the unfortunate killing of this beautiful 16-year-old, Bryant. Unfortunately, the cops were called to some type of a dispute that happened outside of her home. It's not clear yet. The details are kind of murky as to what really happened, as to why the cops were called. But I heard some girls were fighting outside of her home. And just a warning, this is going to be some strong language.
This is the racist ass bitch that shot this poor fucking girl. I'm not gonna put this shit on camera, but he fucking shot this girl talking about she tried to stab him. The fuck? This somebody's fucking daughter, bitch.
Blue lives matter. Crazy.
Yep.
Insult, especially at this place right now.
Yeah, it's definitely an insult. You sound stupid as fuck, bitch. Fuck.
That flag is a Blue Lives Matter flag.
The fuck? That girl just got shot. Did he just say that? He said, well, Blue Lives Matter? He just said that? Boy, shut the fuck up. He shot a 15-year-old. She was fighting. He said she had a knife. As soon as he got out the car, he shot her 3 or 4 times. So don't listen to the news. Oh, she did, or she tried to stab him. No, the fuck she didn't. Everybody out this bitch seen the whole thing. So if they try the news try to say her, don't even listen to it, because no, she ain't try to stab him or nothing. And I know the news about to try to say that, oh, she tried to stab him. Watch. No, she ain't try to stab him.
I have my niece go out like that. You ain't gonna have her go out like that. Either you report the truth or don't report nothing. Okay? She was a good kid. She was loving. Yeah, she had issues, but that's okay. All of us go through shit.
She's a child.
You know what? She was 15 motherfucking years old. She deserved to die like a dog on the street. Okay? You ain't gonna have my niece.
This never should have happened. She's a loving girl.
As the world heard the verdict in the Derek Chauvin case, Paula Bryant's 16-year-old daughter, Micaiah, was fatally shot by a Columbus police officer on the city's southeast side.
I'm very upset. I'm hurt. I want answers.
Columbus police were called to Legion Lane on reports of his stabbing. A Columbus police officer fired his gun, shooting and killing the teen.
My daughter dispatched the Columbus police for protection, not to be a homicide today.
Micaiah was staying at a foster home, but Paula tells me the two last saw each other on Thursday.
We hugged each other. She said, Mommy, I made honor roll. And she said, Mommy, I'm looking forward to coming home.
That homecoming won't happen, but Paula explains how she wants her daughter remembered.
Micaiah had a motherly nature about her. She promoted peace.
Okay, so you heard that. Now, here's some still pictures of what appears to be a knife in Micaiah's hand. Now, I just have a lot of questions about this. A lot of questions. And it may not be a very popular thought or opinion, but here it goes. Number one, did the police officers have a taser? Do their department carry them? And if they do, why didn't they use them? And if there was no taser, it may favor the officers. The reason why, because a knife is considered a deadly weapon. And, you know, we can throw out the 15-year-old, 16-year-old, because when they arrived there, I don't think they knew how old she was. And I do not believe that they knew who the perpetrator was. For all we know, they could have just been seeing someone attack another person with a knife. Now, here's my problem with the men there who were very upset. You know, all of the grown people there, did you guys try to break it up? You guys are being very vocal now that she's shot and she's killed. But did any of these adults try to intervene? Where were these grown men at when the fighting was going down? Or did you guys just sit back with the mentality of that we will let these or allow these females to resolve their differences? Everyone has something to say after she has been killed by law enforcement. Everyone does. But where were the people at? Did anyone try to break it up? You know, this just may not go the way that people want it to go, in my opinion. And I say that because you cannot have a knife, a deadly weapon in your hand, and go after someone. Because from what they seen and all they could figure out at that particular time is that we have an oath and we're sworn to protect and serve. And what we're going to do is that we're going to protect and serve. So this is just a gray area, in my opinion, about this. It's a tragic situation, but it's a very gray area. Because of not knowing the situation at hand. They kind of walked through or walked into something where all hell was breaking loose. A fight was going on, but not really knowing who's the aggressor of this particular fight. And when all of this happened, did anyone on the scene bother to shout out, hey, she's 15, 16 years old. This is a minor. She's the one who's being attacked. Did anyone say that? It seems to me that from what I have seen is that the young lady went into a red zone. She just seen red. And she was unaware of the police were even around her. And she went to either defend herself or either to attack the girl. So this is just a gray area for me. And people, let me just ask you a question. If this was a white male with a knife attacking a young black girl, would it be a problem then? Would that be considered police brutality then? I know this is not very popular to even think about, because we're so raw off of the killings of George Floyd and things in which we have seen. I'm not justifying this by any means. I'm wondering if they had a taser. If they had a taser, they could have used a taser. Perhaps they could have shot her in the leg. Maybe she was too far away for a taser to be used. I don't know. Maybe they reacted with deadly force because they seen that she had a knife in her hand and they thought that the young lady who she was going towards could have been killed. I can't show that because YouTube would strike the video down. But there's just so many questions to this right here. It really is. And it's such an unfortunate situation that the police had to have been called in this particular situation. And it goes back to, it's unfortunate also because black women fighting black women. Jeez. Can we do better? Can we learn better? I mean, we're going to call law enforcement to resolve this particular issue right here. Really. Now everyone's up in arms. Where were all these people when this was going down? I mean, could someone have broken this fight up? Could someone have intervened? Those are just questions in which I have. And, you know, people, as I've stated before, I do not believe that this is going to be considered anything unjust. I just believe that if she had a knife in her hand, it could possibly be justifiable homicide, going towards the side of the cops. Do I want it to be that way? No, I want the full story to come out. I want all the details to come out. A lot of it's going to hinge on the young lady that she was going after. Did this young lady feel threatened, like her life was in danger? Is she going to testify that the young lady was coming at her with a knife? And I will say this much. The part about the cops shouting, "Blue Lives Matter," that was very unprofessional, very tacky. Should never have been said. But this situation right here, I just think it's going to be a gray area for a lot of people. And it wouldn't surprise me, as I've stated, if it was a rude, justifiable homicide. Because she had a knife in her hand. And she went after someone with a knife. Even if it was self-defense, did law enforcement know? I don't think they did know that it was self-defense. And the guy with the bandages on his arm, I wonder, he claims that she came after him with a knife, he was stabbed. Can he prove that? If he can prove that she came after him with a knife and she stabbed him, he might possibly be in the right. It's going to lean towards law enforcement's favor. So this is going to be a wait and see approach right here. There's just so many questions that has yet to be answered about this particular case. But it's just a tragic case all around, that it involved black girls fighting, that they had to get law enforcement even involved in this. Where were the adults? Why couldn't you guys break it up? Why couldn't you guys intervene? Why are so many people screaming and behoming after? This should have been done before law enforcement even arrived. You know, back in the old days, we could have settled this without even calling law enforcement. Why call them knowing that they see black people as a threat, knowing that we're more likely to be murdered by them? Did anyone ask her to drop the knife when they seen law enforcement pull up? Wow, people, we're not really doing our jobs as black adults. This is such a tragic situation. And do we really expect law enforcement to do a proper job, knowing what we know now about them? You know, this is just all in which I have to say about this particular case right here. Very disturbing, very tragic. It just seems to me that very unnecessary. I just wish they would not have ever been called. I wish we, as black adults, could have broken this up. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you beyond and through.